Welcome back to the Collider Studio. I'm Maggie Levitt, and I'm here with some of the funniest people in the industry, the cast and creator of Grimsburg.
Hey-o.
Yes, thank you all for being here.
My goodness, thanks for having us.
Thank you. Excellent. So first off, something I really love about shows that are doing their own thing is that they have their own world and their own rules. So I'm curious, Chadd, for you, what has it been like getting to establish your own world and looking at season 1 and season 2, kind of how have the rules changed in this world?
Yeah, the world of Grimsburg sort of started out with like, how weird can we take this, and we started, I think, at 10. So there wasn't too far to go in season 2. No, I mean, it was other than like, can we just amplify what's there and just, do more of that? We really like to take a look at the genre episodes, where we're sort of, picking apart the summer camp murders. We did that in season 1, and then we found other ways to find other things that we liked to pick at in season 2, which includes M3GAN. We do our version of that. So yeah, it's been great to sort of have our chance to take apart some of these genres that we love that you can't necessarily do on the other ones.
That's true. Yes. And Jon, I know in addition to starring in the series, you're also an executive producer. And I'm curious for you, like in between season 1 and season 2, like how hands-on are you? Has your role as an executive producer changed between seasons?
They just asked me who to fire, and they made me fire everyone that needed to be fired. And I was like, wow, guys, that seems extreme. And fortunately, no one needed to be fired. So look, it's a lovely title to have, and it's part of what developing the show with Chadd and the whole team. It's been fun to have some input on that, but my philosophy on all of that is mostly that I leave the hard, specific work to people that do those jobs. That's, I think, what effective producing actually is letting your team do their jobs, and not getting too involved with things that are not necessarily above your pay grade, but above your knowledge and skill level. So to that end, if there's, any feedback or anything that people want from me or ask me or reaching out to talent or people that I can facilitate in that respect, then that certainly is something that I'm able and happy to do. But mostly it's like, get the machine together and then pull the string and watch it run.
Very nice. And what can you tease for Marvin's journey throughout season 2?
Well, to what Chadd was saying, what we'd started the show as kind of like, what if it's this, a little bit of this, should there be an overriding through line for each season? Then we went, well, maybe it's more funny if it's kind of more like an office comedy in a lot of ways. And we're able to kind of dip in and dip out of each character a little more and really see and set up these kind of big ideas and high concept things where the gang can get into mischief, basically. So that's kind of what the second season has been much more of. Not so much of an episodic arc through the whole season, but more just sort of more specific individual fun adventures that the guys can get into. And then then the whole playbook is open and everybody gets a chance to really mess around, and we let all of our incredible and especially get some amazing guest stars in to do things, which I'm not sure I'm allowed to say, but who's in there. But we have some pretty spectacular people coming in and doing fun stuff.
Yeah, you're the executive producer. You can say whatever you want, man.
I mean, I don't know. Do people know who Martin Short is?
Oh my God!
Please explain.
Who is he?
I mean, he's not in the show, but if he was, it would be like super cool, like, right? Like,
nice.
exactly.
Really cool.
Like,
So if you know him.
so if anybody knows, no, Martin actually does do a really funny cameo in the show this season, and he plays another child. So it's, we specialize apparently in adults playing children. That's really what we do.
Yes. And what is it like playing Jon Hamm's fictional son?
It's a delight. No, it's always fun to play something that you wouldn't play in real life. So that's what I love about animation. So,
And,
yeah.
I love Stan. He's such a sad character. He has, an imaginary friend and 2 parents who don't really care about him all that much. But, I'm curious for you, like, what do you hope that he gets to experience as he's growing up in these seasons?
That's a good question. I mean, because for me, like, I love when Jon's character blows him off. Not in real life, I wouldn't say that about a child, but it makes it just takes the knife in more. So, that gives him more to play with. So I can't really say that I hope I hope in the end he gets what he wants. But for now, I like the dynamic where he's kind of neglected. But I like that he's always hopeful. Like that's what I like about him, and that he never gives up hope. So that's
what makes
kinda
him
fun.
so compelling.
Yeah.
Because you want him to have a good date, but he's never going to have one.
And sometimes he gets little triumphs, but I like the dynamic as is.
I love that. And Alan, I am endlessly impressed with all of the voices you come up with, whether it's a chicken or a, skeleton. How do you find the specific voices for each of the characters that you bring to life?
I don't know. We just worked on it together.
Yeah.
We came in and I was like, I'm kind of thinking of, I do two characters in this. One is the imaginary friend who's a skeleton with flaming eyes, and he's friendly and he's always trying to get him into trouble. So he's mischievous but he's fun. And he's for a child. So I thought of him as like King Candy. I think we started with where King Candy started, where he's like this, and then he just kind of became a little bit, well, let's do this. And let's say he's a little more devious and he's not as affected. And I don't know. It's sort of like that.
Yeah. And then I think with Pentos, I just remember the description was an unplaceable accent.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And so that is very easy to do somewhere in the Eastern European places.
Somewhere between Eastern Europe and the moon.
That's where he lives.
Yeah. Chadd, I have a question for you about the jokes in Grimsburg because they're so timely. And I'm curious with how television has kind of changed over the years, and sometimes seasons are much further out from when you create them. So I'm curious for you, how do you keep your jokes so fresh?
Well, we do get a lot of bites of the apple in animation. So even though we may have started many years ago working and writing on these, by the time those colors start coming back, we're a little bit closer to air date. So we're able to sort of pick and choose there. Also, if we're going to make fun of someone, it's someone that we're going to make fun of for years and years, not just someone for the week. We're going for the big ones. So that's it.
I did want to ask about a couple different things. Jon Hamm, you have, voiced Boba Fett for the Star Wars books, The Certain Point of View. I know we're right over here from the Penguin Random House, but I'm curious, how did that come together? I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I feel like I would be remiss not to ask you about that.
Well, I'm a huge Star Wars fan as well. And I am of the generation for whom Star Wars was the North Star. I mean, literally, I had sheets, Star Wars sheets. I had a Star Wars lunchbox. I had posters and all of the stuff that was available in the 70s, which is significantly less material than you have available to you now, and how the universe has expanded. And Boba Fett was honestly one of my favorite characters when watching the original trilogy. Anyway, that's to say, a friend of mine who does a lot of the audiobooks came to me with this project and said, "Would you be interested in this?" And I really do actually love reading audiobooks, and I thought it was a very interesting, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this thing, but it's sort of an alternate history of Boba Fett, and they collect these little short stories, and they're super fun, and it's a fun read, and if you're a fan of the series, it's a fun way to, something fun to listen to while you're on the treadmill.
They're fantastic. I think the Certain Point of View books are some of the best.
Pretty cool, right?
They are. And you're not escaping without a Star Wars question.
Jesus, Dratch.
I know.
All right, you can be in Star Wars too.
I want to be in Star Wars.
R2D2.
I'm curious, what was it like for you to spend 4 years essentially telling everybody you weren't going to be in Andor, but you were going to be in Andor? Because it's confirmed now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also that was fine. I don't know.
No drama.
Yeah.
No drama.
It's so tricky now. You never know what you can say and what you can't say.
Oh my God.
So I think that most
The internet is forever, and yeah.
And so one slip up and then you find it on your phone what did you say? I don't know. So I think a lot of actors, we've all gotten muscles around lying.
Yeah. You do it for a living too.
Yeah. Well, actually, I consider myself a truth teller. So, actually,
When they came to you with that project, were you like, "Can you come up with a real title, not just and or"?
I thought it was a placeholder, really, and that's what they stuck with. It's okay. So I'm going to be in it. I can't tell you how much. So I still have I still have secrets, and I can't
your
say anything
secrets.
about it. But it was fun to be back with Diego
It's a very
Luna.
good show.
It is a good show. Tony Gilroy is a very
Talented son of a gun.
Yeah, he's a skilled writer. He's a big brained guy, and it'll be interesting to see. I think for people to see K2SO in that world, because he was such a smart ass, and there was such a lot of humor around his being there. Will be a fresh. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see. Let's
Yeah.
just watch it.
The origins of their friendship.
Yes,
Yes.
the oranges.
Rachel, SNL is on season 50 this year. I know you probably can't say much. Is there ever a chance that we might see Debbie Downer again? Because I would love her.
One never knows. No, I don't know. I don't know how they'll work the 50th. Like, I did something on the 40th, and now there's like 10 years more of cast. So I don't know who's going to be in. I know I'll be watching in the audience. I mean, like, I won't be watching at home. I think I'll be watching there. But hopefully, who knows? Yeah, that was a long answer. Sorry.
No, that's a great answer.
Answer, I don't know.
And surprisingly upbeat for Debbie Downer.
That's right. Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Hopeful.
Yeah, that was hopeful
I'm
for her.
hopeful, like
Yeah,
Stan. Yeah.
Very nice.
Bring it
Well,
back
thank you
around.
all so much. This is great. Can't wait for Grimsburg season 2. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
you.
Thank
Thanks so much for
you.
having us.